Oh, hi, y'all. Welcome to Nikki's World, where my podcast show will give you viewpoints and insight that others will not give. I'll talk about like what's current, what's on the news, what is out there, and I will always cite sources and I always cite facts and news links so y'all know what I'm actually talking about. I give you my viewpoints and opinions, and if you want to hear what I have to say, what's on my mind and all that, I let y'all into my world and let y'all hear and listen to what I'm thinking and what's going through my mind. So if you love stuff like that, tune into Nikki's World twice a week, where you'll get 2-3 podcast episodes a week on what I talk about and what's on my mind. So thanks for listening, and let's get on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, y'all? Let's do this. Oh, hi guys, welcome to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host, and today, guys, we gotta talk about the retribution that needs to happen in this country before we ever fucking unite with the left. Because the way the left has been treating us for the last three to 4 years in this country, why the fuck do we want to unite with these people? But we're gonna talk about that and so much more. But before we get any further, guys, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, seriously, can you all please consider donating a cup of coffee for me? Because for the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Cumberland Farms, guys, you guys help keep this podcast show alive. You guys help me curate more stories, more topics like this to talk about. I do accept Bitcoin donations. I am on locals, guys. If you guys want to support and sponsor Nikki's World, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, please hit that like, subscribe. Please give me a review. Good, bad, and the ugly. Also, guys, I do have a bunch of affiliate links. First off is minds.com. If you guys value freedom of speech and you guys value the right to speak freely without fear of censorship or being blocked, banned, or suspended, you guys can sign up for minds.com in link in the description below. Also, guys, I do have a link to burner.com. If you guys value your right to self-defense in a non-lethal and less lethal option, you guys can buy a burner pistol in the link in the description below. And FYI, guys, I own a burner LE pistol myself. And also, guys, if you know anyone that wears adult diapers like I do, and you know they need adult diapers, you guys can buy adult diapers at North Shore Medical Supply. And by the way, I do wear the Mega Max diapers, so if you guys know anybody that needs it, you guys can buy them in the link in the description below. And before we get the show on the road, literally, guys, if you guys love this episode, and any of my other episodes on Nikki's World. Seriously, y'all, seriously, can y'all please consider sharing this across all the social media platforms that are out there today? Woo wee wow, yeah, that was a mouthful, ladies and gentlemen. That was literally a mouthful. Yeah, and yes, guys, I am in my adult diaper and my onesie and my pacifier, and I'm ready to podcast to y'all today. So let's talk about this article I saw this week, guys. And this article, guys, come from come from the Federalist. You know what I mean? This article is this: after Trump's victory, there can be no unity without reckoning. Amen to that, guys. Amen to that. The reason why there needs to be a reckoning in this country, because for the last 3.5 to almost 4 years, the people who called you racist, bigoted, homophobe, transphobe, istophobe, whatever in this country, all because you disagreed with them, all because you had an opinion that was different from them, there needs to be a fucking reckoning in this country. There needs to be a fucking reckoning. These people should be mocked, shamed, ridiculed. These people should be laughed at for eternity for the shit they did to us for the last 3.5 to close to 4 years in this country by getting us canceled, deplatformed, removed from social media. Heck, I got removed from Twitter since 2018. That mattered. And it's like what? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 7 years. It's been 7 years, and I hadn't gone back on Twitter, which is now X, and I don't look at going back anytime soon because the same leftists are still on that platform. They're still on that site spewing their shit. Even though I defend myself and I get blocked, banned, suspended, deplatformed, and not allowed to come back, there needs to be a reckoning here. There needs to be a reckoning in this country. There needs to. There needs to. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. These people who called me like MAGA turds, who called me like what, bigot, transphobe, racist, homophobe. Why should I unite with these people? Why should I unite with them? Why should I? Why should I? These people called me names. These people wanted me canceled. These people wanted me fired. These people wanted me dead. Why should I unite these people? Hell fuck no. Hell fuck no. And I certainly agree with this article from the Federalist. Okay? We can't just say, oh well, we're all Americans in the end and pretend that everything's okay. Everything's not okay. After the fucking shit they done to us? Fuck no. And I agree with what John Daniel Davison wrote in this article. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, any article I talk about will be listed in the link in the description below for y'all to read. Okay? But I like how Davison wrote this first paragraph. And I'm gonna read this to y'all for verbatim. Back in July, after the first Trump assassination attempt, I wrote that there can be no national unity, no burying the hatchet, or cooling the rhetoric with people who've been encouraging political violence, pushing assassination prep for years. You can't just smack someone in the face with a hammer and insist that everyone calm down. You're right. You're right. He's right. You can't. You can't like unite with people who call you racist, bigoted, homophobe, transphobe, istophobe, just because you disagree with them. And I'm gonna say this to Mr. Trump. There's there should not be unity in this country. No unity until there's a reckoning. No unity until the left reckons with what they've done for the last 3.5 to 4 years in this country. There needs to be a reckoning. There needs to be severe retribution to the people who caused this inflation, who caused high gas prices, high grocery prices, okay? Who caused people to make a choice between putting food on the table or putting gas in the car to go to work, who had to pay exorbitant high taxes for what their woke DEI bullshit. Yeah, there should be a retribution to people who caused all this. And I'm sorry to say this, ladies and gentlemen, there should be a retaliation for the people who caused all this. There should be swift and just punishment for these people. The people who caused the lawfare of political witch hunt of going after Donald Trump on a fucking made up charge that doesn't even hold legal water. There should be retribution for these people. These people should be sitting in a fucking prison cell somewhere in the middle of America, nowhere, where they will never see the light of day, let alone see freedom. There should be retribution and retaliation for this. Because the people who caused all this shit that we've gone through for the last 4 years, okay, of inflation, high gas prices, high grocery prices, people not being able to afford to go on vacation or not being able to afford all the stuff that we were able to afford under the first Trump administration. No, there should be retribution. There should be retaliation. There should be, let's just say it's like this, ladies and gentlemen, there should be swift and justly retaliation. That means, for example, Letitia James, that fat, ugly bitch of an attorney general in New York who wants to still go after Donald Trump even though he's duly elected. That fat, ugly bitch needs to watch what she says because Trump's AG pick, whoever he is, her fucking days are numbered. And she better fucking lawyer up real fast because I'm telling you, whoever Trump's AG is, her fucking days are numbered. Is that simple? Whoever Donald Trump picks to be the Attorney General of the United States, her days are numbered. She better start praying or start lawyering up, for that matter. And the other retribution, that Trump trial with that special prosecutor, he better lawyer up too, because he's going to get his own brand of retribution. Yeah, and all those people on the J6 committee, that political witch hunt and all that. Cheney better lawyer up. Adam Schiff better lawyer up because come hell or high water, their days are fucking numbered. It's okay. Their days are numbered. Same thing for the leftists. They need to face retribution. They need to face retaliation for what they caused in this country by indoctrinating kids in the LGBTQ queer pedo plus bullshit, and then at the same time sexually mutilating kids with like what, made up science that wouldn't even hold water. These people need to face retaliation and retribution. Okay? These people need to face it swiftly. They really, really need to face it. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, on top of all that, these people in my opinion, guys, they need to face swift justice. That means follow the rule of law, the Constitution, and go after them legally and civilly. Make them pay for what they did to this country. That means like this. That means ridicule them, scorn them. That means laugh at them in their face for the rest of their life. Make them pay dearly. And then once they're done with their punishment, then we'll talk about unity. Then we'll talk about uniting. But for now, no, no. I'm just gonna still. So it's been a week since the election. It's been a couple of days actually. I'm still gonna be here in my diaper and onesie and passy and still celebrate the victory. And I'm sorry if you heard the dings on my phone, my computer. I apologize for it. But like I said, guys, I'm still gonna be here in my diaper, onesie, and passy, and still celebrate the victory. Take a victory lap that we won not only the electoral vote but the popular vote. We won. We won. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to exact retribution and retaliation on the left for the shit they caused, for the shit they put us through. The fact that I got to make a choice between what? Putting gas on the food, paying for my adult diapers, and even what? Paying for photo shoots, or even what? Like paying to go nude camping. They caused all this. They caused all this, and I had to suffer for it. Now it's time to make them suffer. Make them make them pay for what they've done to this country. Make them pay for all the suffering. And you know what? Trade the people who were locked up on January 6th. Give them presidential pardons, and then lock up the people who put them in there over a political crime, over a crime of protesting, which is what your God-given constitutional right. Throw them in prison. In fact, if it were up to me, guys, and if I was suggesting this to President Trump, I would say like this, ladies and gentlemen. I would say like this. I would say, look, Mr. Trump, you need to get your AG, your Attorney General, to go after these people with everything in the book, including the goddamn kitchen sink. And I mean literally take the kitchen sink and literally throw it at him. Yeah, because these people deserve retribution and retaliation for what they caused in this country, for the shit that they caused, and why we voted for Donald Trump on November 5th is why we want our country back, why we want America back. Yeah, it's why we want this country back, because we're sick and tired of having our tax dollars ripped out of our wallets and then paying for what? God knows what, like the social justice bullshit, or funding a needless, unnecessary war like in Ukraine. Fuck no. Fuck no. These people deserve to be ridiculed and scorned for the rest of their life. And this is why, guys, this is why this exact article, and also from the Federalists, stop crying on the internet. It's embarrassing and pathetic. Yeah, it is. These people, and I'm gonna say this, these TikTok generation, like like millennials, okay? These whiny little brats after they got their ass kicked in the election, they go on social media like TikTok, X, or whatever their favorite liberal site is, and then they whine, complain, and they go, "Oh, Trump! Oh, Trump's gonna take away my rights. Trump's gonna do this. Well, guess what? I'm gonna leave." And then you got this one TikToker, and he goes like this. Well, I guess Trump's the president of the United States. I'm gonna move to Hawaii. And I sit there and I go like this. Does anyone want to tell him that Hawaii is a US state? It's like these people are pathetic. These people these people should be mocked. These people should be laughed at. These people should be ridiculed until they cry in their face and they cry, sob, and have a temper tantrum in the fucking corner. These people deserve it. Yeah, I said it, guys. These people deserve it because I'm gonna tell you this right now, guys. I'm gonna tell you this right now. This generation, you see them on TikTok. They're constantly making videos like, "Oh, now that Trump's president, Trump's gonna take away my right. Well, now I'm gonna go to the four B's." And then I go like this, and I go like this, and this leads me to the article on the Blaze. Okay, and the Blaze is like the Ford B anti-women vow to boycott men as their abortion rights stay exactly the same. This leads me to that Fellas article, guys, where these people are making an ass out of themselves, saying, "Oh, we're gonna do the Ford B's like they do in South Korea." Well, let me say this to all the liberal women. How can I help you further this, guys? Because I'm gonna tell you this, straight up hardcore right here. I will never date a lunatic liberal woman who goes to extremes like this. I will never date a lunatic liberal woman who doesn't have these things: common sense, critical thinking, logic, reasoning skills. They don't have that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just go like this. Y'all crazy. I ain't going. We're not. It's like we're done. You're crazy. You're done. But these women that are vowing to boycott men because they can't have a right to abort a baby, and they think that their rights are going to be taken away from them. I sit there and I go like this to the women. What rights? Explain. Sit me down and explain to me what rights is Trump going to take away from you. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. But liberal lunatic women, they all run on feelings and emotion, but they don't have the common sense, logic, reasoning, and critical thinking skills that Gen Xers have, and those who grew up in the like say the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, or I'm gonna say this: anyone who was born and alive prior to 9/11. It's that simple. It's that simple. But these women that are going on social media, that are shaving their hair, that are saying, "Oh, we won't have sex with men until we have our right to an abortion." Well, how can I help you further that, ladies? Because we're not gonna date lunatic women like that either. So y'all women can be lonely with your cats for all I fucking care. Okay? And then when you're in your 40s and 50s, and then you're going with this, why won't men date me? Why won't men look at me? Well, because you're a lunatic liberal who doesn't know any common sense, logic, reasoning, and critical thinking, and for most of your 20s and 30s, you were living off of emotion and not in reality. There, I said it. Okay, it's that simple. That's why I won't even date those liberal women. That's my dating policy right there. I will never date liberal women who who basically think that, oh, my abortion rights are matter. Well, let me ask you this: what rights that you have that Trump's gonna take away? None. None. And for the fact of the matter is, he can't overturn Roe versus Wade, okay? Because SCOTUS simply said this. He is invoking the 10th Amendment, which means anything that doesn't like basically is like this. If it's not a federal issue, then it goes back to the people or to the states, aka the people. So, which means in the case of abortion, there's no federal issue in abortion, it's a state issue. So, which means SCOTUS, and thank God SCOTUS read the Constitution properly, said, no, abortion is not a federal issue. Abortion is a state issue. So in this case, we are going to kick Roe versus Wade back to the states and let the states decide. But then liberal women got all in a hissy fit because they couldn't make abortion a federal issue. But then they don't realize and they fail to understand that you live in the United States of America. We have 50 states. Each state gets to make its own rules. Okay? If you don't like your state because they ban abortion, you're more than free and welcome to move to a state that agrees with your politics. No one is stopping you, ladies and gentlemen. No one is stopping you. You're more than happy to go to a liberal state that will allow it, okay? You're more than welcome to go flee to a liberal state like California, Washington, Oregon, or New York, Massachusetts, or Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, or Maine. You're more than welcome to. No one is stopping you, ladies. No one is stopping you. Yeah, no one's stopping you. In fact, you're more than happy. We don't live in like a dictatorship like you dream of. No one's stopping you. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? This is why these women are lunatic crazy, because they sit there and they go like this: no marriage, no childbirth, no dating, no sex with men. Okay, good. You can date and have sex and marry your soy boy, beta boy, incel, or your or the woman that pretends to be a man, or a man that pretends to be a woman. You go have at it with them, okay? While the conservatives, libertarians, freedom loving folks will reproduce, and we'll be able to have more babies that espouse conservative viewpoints. Yeah, it's that simple. It's that simple. But I'm telling you this right now, guys. I'm telling you this right now. I'm telling you, these liberal women are as stupid as ever. And basically, guys, these people are fucking out of their mind. And this is why I will say this, guys. Avoid dating and associating with liberal women, because they're mentally insane, they're mentally crazy, and I wouldn't even go near them with a 10-foot or 20-foot pole, for that matter. I would use the same social distance rules by saying stay 10, 20 feet away from liberal women. It's that simple, guys. It's really that simple. All right, guys. All right. I want to talk about this article, guys. I want to talk about this article from the Blaze Media. This generation saved America. Okay. I want to talk about this. All right. Because what really saved this country and elected Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, was the people from the Gen X era. The whiny snowflake woke liberal has finally got their ass kicked by Gen Xers like me. Gen Xers like me who grew up in the 80s and 90s, you don't fuck around with us, folks. We we don't come with warning labels. It is come at your own peril or come at your own risk. We're a generation that grew up before Google, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram. We grew up before social media. We grew up before PlayStation, you know what I mean? Sony PlayStation and Xbox. We grew up before that. Okay? Our generation elected Donald Trump and got him back in the White House. Okay? Our generation did that. I did that. Okay? And you know why our generation did that? Because when you fuck around, you're going to find out the hard way. And these woke, leftist, lunatic, mentally ill liberals, they fucked around and they found out the hard way what we're capable of. And quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, these people effed around, they found out, and they got their ass kicked royally. They got their asses kicked so far upside the head, wasn't even fucking funny anymore, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't even remotely funny, for all that matter. The fact of the matter is, guys, the fact of the matter is, our generation, we grew up before Google. And I'm telling you this, we'll fuck them up again if we have to. Gen Xers are not to be messed with. You don't toy around with Gen Xers. We grew up before Google, and we can fuck them up real badly. And what a generation, ladies and gentlemen, that drank from a garden hose during the summer. Okay? That basically got hit in the shins and walked off of it. Yeah, we grew up on a generation that knew what men are, what women are, and we grew on a generation where we had people like Boy George, you know what I mean, who was gender bending at the time, and we knew that yeah, he's still a dude, but he dresses up like this and performs like this, and we're okay with it. Yeah, we grew up on that. And we grew up on the era of MTV. Shit. And we grew up on the era of what? In Living Color, Mad TV, shit, 90210, Baywatch, you know? I tell these people, they don't want to fucking mess around with Gen Xers because our generation will fuck them up. But I like this article from the Blaze. Okay, guys, I'm gonna read this to you. Did this generation just save America? The counting is done, and Donald Trump has won the stunning 312 electoral votes, the most any Republican candidate has won since George H.W. Bush in 1988. The Blaze News Tonight host Jill Savage and Blaze News editor in chief Matthew Peterson are joined by Clay Travis, Outkick founder and co-host of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show, to discuss how Trump was able to achieve the landslide victory. And according to Travis, Kamala Harris got her ass kicked partly because she never really told us what she thought on the issues, and the ones she did tell us about, she was wrong on. And then meanwhile, Trump was right on everything and expanded his voter base by appealing to many particular black, white, Asian, and Hispanics. However, there was a major factor that contributed to Harris' epic loss: Gen Xers. You spoke about how Gen X came out in large numbers, you know? And you know why? Gen Xers like me came out in fucking droves. Gen Xers fucking sank Kamala Harris, the woke Democrats, the socialists, the liberals, the communist Democrats of today. We sunk them so damn badly that if they ever got up again, we'd probably do the WrestleMania and do like this, and then probably do what a couple of Hulk Hogan leg drops on them. We basically gave Donald Trump the White House. And if they want to say who actually gave Donald Trump the White House again, it's the Gen Xers from the 80s and 90s, ladies and gentlemen. That's the reason why Trump appealed so much to the people who grew up in the 80s and 90s. We grew up in the era where America was awesome, where America was the greatest land in the world, where we had the world's fucking strongest military, and no one would ever want to fuck with us. We grew up in that era. And that's why people on the left are going like this. How the fuck did we lose to Donald Trump? Well, simple. You fuck around with Gen Xers, and you're gonna fucking find out in the worst possible manner. You know, as they say, fuck around and you find out. Well, I tell you what, the woke, the woke left liberal who loves to twerk all the time, they fucked around, they found out. And the woke left liberal, you know what I mean? The woke left liberal who basically wanted what to put men in women's bathrooms and put tampons in men's bathrooms. Well, guess what? Fuck around and you find out the hard way, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, fuck around and you find out the hard way. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, Gen Xers like me are the one that gave Donald Trump the White House again because we want America back to where it was prior to 9/11. We want America back to where it was the greatest nation on earth in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s before 9/11. We wanted that country back, guys. I wanted that. Hell, I tell people it was like this. I want the 90s economy in 2024. I want the 80s, 90s, and pre 9/11 economy in 2024. Because that way, ladies and gentlemen, I could go to get my master's degree in social work, which I'm doing right now. I could be able to save for a condo, which I'm trying to do right now, but due to Biden inflation, you know what I mean, and the sky high get prices, can't afford that right now. But my hope is, ladies and gentlemen, my hope is, guys, that it that like this. My hope is that Trump delivers on his promise. Okay, that Trump really, really delivers. But I'm telling you this like this: the left, the left thought that the left thought that Gen Xers couldn't be messed around with. I tell you this much: fuck around with the Gen Xers, and y'all gonna find out how bad we come. And I'll give you, and I'm gonna say this to all the woke left liberals: we don't come with warning labels, ladies and gentlemen. We don't come with trigger warnings like this generation has. We come as it is, and we are a generation that came before Google and will fuck the living daylights out of you people. We are the generation where you don't want to fuck around with us because if you do, We will fuck you up in the worst possible way. We will, guys. We literally will. And this is the generation that you don't mess around with. You don't. You really don't, guys. But anyway, I want to talk about this article from Fast Company, okay? The link's in the description below. And the title of this article is How the Right Won Podcasting and Helped Donald Trump Win the Election. Yes, guys. Yes. This is something that I've talked about so many times. Podcasting is making a comeback. Podcasting is basically the new media. The new media. Podcasting did get its start when the internet came out, but then it was slow. It was so slow to adopt, but then as time grew on, ladies and gentlemen, when the right was getting canceled, when the right media was getting blocked, suspended, and all that, and not being able to push its viewpoints, we turned to the one medium that worked. Podcasting, ladies and gentlemen. And podcast shows like Joe Rogan, Dan Bongino, we were able to win the election, ladies and gentlemen. We were able to basically present our views, present our opinions, present facts that the left and the liberal media would label as misinformation, disinformation, would get you blocked, canceled, suspended. Well, you know what? They couldn't do it to podcasting. And in this article, when Ultimate Fighting Championship, Dana White made a speech at Trump's victory party this week. He closed on a note of gratitude. I want to thank Nick Brooks, Adlin Ross, Theo Von Brusson with the boys, and last not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan. White was right to thank this quartet of content creators. Trump had recently appealed alongside all of them, delivering an unfiltered dose of his worldview to the massive, largely male audience. The message appears to have landed, while it will take much more time and data to truly understand how the U.S. arrived at this electoral outcome. What seems undeniable already is that podcasts played a substantial role in bringing it about. Basically, like this: people on the right wing dominate the podcast sphere. People on the left dominate the legacy media, like the New York Times, Washington Post, CBS, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, those, and then the liberal newspaper outlets like the LA Times, you know, they dominate, the left dominated that. But the right had no avenue to speak up on. So we turned to podcasting. We were able to dominate that sphere. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I got my own podcast show that you're listening on. We were able to spread the message. Okay? We were able to spread our message, our viewpoints, our beliefs, our opinions that the legacy media would shut us down in less than 5 seconds. Podcasting, ladies and gentlemen, won the White House, got Donald Trump elected. Podcast shows like Dan Bongino, Joe Rogan, okay, and many others got Donald Trump elected. You got people like Matt Walsh. You got people like Ted Cruz. Senator Ted Cruz has his own podcast show, and Representative Dan Crenshaw has his own podcast show. We were able to dominate the media stream that the left couldn't even dominate, couldn't even mount. Even when Kamala Harris went on a few podcast shows, she couldn't even break 1 million. Joe Rogan, when he got what? Elon Musk, Donald Trump, JD Vance on his show. Oh my God. He broke 1 million viewers easily. Easily. My podcast show, I don't even break those numbers, but I don't care about numbers. I care about is getting my viewpoint out, getting my opinions. That's all I care about. Numbers, if they come in, that's fine, great, and dandy. But all I care about is being able to express my viewpoint, my opinions, and not be censored, blocked, canceled. It's that simple. Yeah. But podcasters like that, my God. Yeah. We were able to give Trump the White House. And this is a political shift here. This is a political shift. Look at it this for example. Nixon Kennedy had the television. Trump versus Harris had podcasting. Who won out? Trump. Because Trump was able to go on Joe Rogan, tell it like it is, be upfront, honest, no teleprompting, no editing whatsoever. He was able to be open to everyone. And Joe Rogan was able to question everything right there. He won. He went on Dan Bongino's show. Yeah. He was able to be upfront, open, honest, and even got questions from viewers that Dan Bongino asked Trump. You look at Kamala Harris. When she goes on a podcast show, everything has to be so coordinated, regulated, teleprompted, questions filtered and prearranged and all this. Nobody doesn't want to hear that. Everybody wanted to hear like openness, truthfulness, honesty. Yeah, everybody wanted to hear that. And you know what? And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? They couldn't hear it. They couldn't. And the fact of the matter is, guys, they lost. And this is the first time, ladies and gentlemen, that podcasters like me, like Joe Rogan, Dan Bongino, Dan Crenshaw, Ted Cruz, Matt Walsh, Tucker Carlson, we were able to spread the message that would lock us out of the legacy, that the legacy media would lock us out. We were able to, ladies and gentlemen. We were able to. And I'm telling you this right now, podcasting won the election. Podcasting got Donald Trump back in the White House because Donald Trump was able to spread his message unfiltered, uncensored, tell it like it is. But, you know, the left, they were just using legacy media, prearranged, pre approved questions and all this shit. Podcasting is the way to go because it was uncensored, unfiltered. You tell it like it is, and you never sugarcoat anything. And that's why, guys, the left was not able to dominate podcasting, and the left was in free fall. They lost the podcasting war because they couldn't. They were trying to censor everything. You know, they were trying to give a story and not the story. So, frankly, ladies and gentlemen, frankly, podcasting is here to stay. The right is capitalizing it, taking podcasting, running it head on. Yeah, they are. Podcasters like me, right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're becoming popular. We're becoming more truthful. We're becoming more upfront about things. Hell, if my podcast ever takes off like Dan Bongino or Joe Rogan or Matt Walsh or Tucker Carlson or Dan Crenshaw or Ted Cruz, Oh man, I probably wouldn't even have to work anymore. I could probably just make money doing podcast shows. But yeah, podcast shows are here to stay. And I tell you this is no secret. I get all my news off of RSS feeds and whatever articles that interest me, that's what I'm going to talk about on the show. And that's how my podcast show is able to help the right spread the message that would normally get censored on the legacy media. And in fact, ladies and gentlemen, the legacy media is dead. We buried it when Joe Rogan and Elon Musk took over. We buried it. So we buried the legacy media. And the legacy media is done. It's finito. Finish. Yeah. And one thing I want to talk about was like this. You know how the left says, oh, there's going to be a civil war if Trump gets elected. Well, I tell you this. Where's the civil war coming from? Huh? The side that's saying civil war, civil war, civil war. This is the side that doesn't know what a woman is, that wants men in women's bathrooms, that wants men competing in women's sports. But you know what? The civil war right now is not coming from the right. Yeah, it's not. It's coming from the left. And this article from News Nation says on the headline: Democrats election and reckoning pits liberals against centrists. Gee, you can already tell the finger pointing is already happening, ladies and gentlemen. You can tell the finger pointing has already started. They're already since their dramatic smackdown on Tuesday, November 5th, ladies and gentlemen. You can tell, you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, the reckoning and and the and the finger pointing has begun. They're already blaming Obama, Pelosi. They're already blaming Chucky Schumer. They're already blaming like Biden. You know, they're already blaming Harris. The finger pointing's going on, and I'm just sitting here like this. I'm just sitting here on the corner. You know what I mean? In my diaper, onesie, and passy, and I'm going, man, this is an interesting SmackDown. Man, this is an interesting SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. They're already finger pointing. They're already blaming each other. They're already trying to say they started it. They started it. They started it. They were responsible for this. They were responsible for this. They were responsible. Yeah, and even the ladies, even the ugly ladies on The View already pointing fingers saying Obama's blamed for this. This is. Funny thing is, ladies and gentlemen, there should be a mirror in front of them. And when they're going to blame others, they should be looking at it squarely in their face and say, this is your fault, guys. This is your fault. You guys started it. You guys are responsible for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, this is why it's their fault. You know, this is why it's their fault. And incidentally, let them have their civil war. Let them have their infighting. Let them try to blame this person, and then let them try to finger point at us saying, oh, you're why we lost, you're why Trump's president. Well, yeah, because we want common sense back. We want our country back. We don't want to be delved into socialism, communism, Marxism, Leninism, and all that shit. We don't want all of that. We don't, ladies and gentlemen. We don't. We don't. So that's why we say like this. Let them. Let them, let them, let them, let them. Let them, guys. Let them. Let them. Because I tell you this, it'll be their downfall. And quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, they're gonna if they keep doing what they're doing, they're gonna keep losing every election. It's quite simple, guys. They're gonna keep losing no matter what. And as I'm standing here podcasting to y'all in my adult diaper, onesie, and passy, I'm just saying like this, man. They're gonna keep losing regardless, and they really are. And it's gonna be glorious to watch them because all that finger pointing and they're blaming everyone else but themselves because they have no ability to reflect on why they fucked up. They have no ability to contemplate and think why they fucked up. They don't. They don't, ladies and gentlemen. They really don't. And this is why, guys, I say like this: let them wallow in their own filth while Trump and the MAGA crowd roll up their sleeves, put their big boy and big girl pants on, and get to work on rebuilding this country and making America great again. Okay? It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. It's really that simple. Okay? Wow, man, that was a good show. That was really awesome, man. That was, man. That was. It's like normally on a Saturday I'd probably be working, but today I get a chance and opportunity to podcast to you all, and I'm doing this all, guys, in my adult diaper, which is a North Shore Megamax diaper with 4 boosters and a onesie, and I have my pacifier with me. Wow, yeah, wow. And I tell you this, man, as more as a Trump as we're rebuilding America with Trump 2.0, I will be continuing the podcast to y'all. I will be highlighting Trump's successes and Trump's failures and prepping everyone for the midterm elections and prepping everyone for the 2028 or 2029 presidential election, hoping to get JD Vance, which is our vice president elect, as our successor. We're hoping for that, ladies and gentlemen. So I go like this to God, Buddha. I hope that happens. Okay. So we hope that happens in this country. All right, guys. So anyway, guys, I thank you guys for listening to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host. I will see y'all soon. Bye for now. You just listened to an episode of Nikki's World. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.